That's pretty good.
I'll just try this piece. Hopefully, just walk down to get there. If there's a
Yep, it's ready. You'll be right there.
Okay, welcome everybody. Thanks for being here. I want to welcome you to our public lecture part of our conference, Machine Learning, Abstract Thought, and the Expanding Reach of AI, Ethical and Conceptual Frontiers. I'm Peter Langland-Hassan. I'm an associate professor of philosophy here, one of the organizers of the talks. These talks will be from a really extraordinary group of researchers from across the country. Really happy to have them here. Happy we were able to get this whole event happening. You're going to hear from people working in computer science, philosophy, neuroscience, engineering, and other fields as well, bioethics. Everyone's going to sort of approach things from different angles, but it's kind of centered around this question of what sort of limits there are or aren't to the kinds of things we can expect machine learning and AI to accomplish in the years to come, especially there insofar as whether they may have the ability to engage in the kinds of things we think of as human-like abstract thought. And then together with that question, what sort of ethical dilemmas and problems may arise out of those kinds of advances? So we already had some discussions. Our visiting speakers met with a group of UC faculty and grads in a workshop session this morning, just brainstorming and talking about different ideas. We'll do it again tomorrow morning, but this afternoon we get to sort of sit back and let our invited speakers do the hard work, and we get to hear more about their research and their thoughts. So there'll be 4 talks today, each one followed by a short Q&A period. After the first 2 talks, around 2:30, we'll have a coffee and refreshments just outside here in the lobby. And we'll have the same schedule tomorrow. So we'll start again tomorrow at 1. Again, 4 talks, then from 1 to 4. I'd like to first take an opportunity to thank the many others who've helped to bring this together. So this event is supported by the Department of Philosophy, the Institute for Research and Sensing here, IRIS, and also with significant support from the Taft Research Center. So in terms of individuals, philosophy graduate student Mel Andrews, who you'll be seeing up here soon, has done a lot of work to help out on this. Thanks, Mel. And I've also had a ton of help from Nate Morehouse, Michelle Devenot, and Imogen Watts, all parts of the IRIS group, in bringing this thing to fruition. So thanks. And we have a lot of plans changing with COVID, changing the landscape continually, but it's wonderful that this is all together, and everyone for their flexibility and making this happen. So I'd like now, before we get started, just to introduce Provost of the University of Cincinnati, Professor Dr. Valerio Ferme, to give some opening remarks. Dr. Ferme was all too briefly the Dean of A&S, and through some sort of dangerous combination of competence and kindness, he was quickly promoted to be Provost. Oh, I got it wrong or something. He did that. I started to talk about him. Those are the kind of powers he has. It's all wireless. But in his time as dean, he remarked on several occasions about how it would be a fruitful area for the college to move into and expand his work on AI and AI ethics. So I'm happy to be able to invite him here to give some opening remarks. And he's also been a big supporter of IRIS and getting IRIS going when he started. So again, another reason I thought it'd be great to have him here. So I'll introduce Provost Ferme.
I think I'm gonna, maybe I'm not, there we go. I'll try this just because this is a big room. It's actually the first time I'm in this building. I just was remarking to Peter. So first of all, Peter, thank you for the kind words, probably not even very well deserved. I mean, I was, and I am proud of having been the dean for 2 years of arts and sciences through a difficult time, but also engaged with some great people, and some of those great people are here, and they are part of something that Peter's absolutely right. I remember talking about AI is a big thing. How is our philosophy department? I talked with Tom Polder about this repeatedly, and they basically all told me, "You're way behind the curve. We've already got it." So, but I also do want to acknowledge the creation of the Institute for Research and Sensing, and I see Nate here, and we had great conversations with the group. We brought them into the heads meetings. They were persistent even at a time when A&S was really fund strapped, and we managed to figure out how to make it happen. And I think that that speaks both to the quality of the people who are running this organization, but also the desire to see us move in a very collaborative space, because I think that's what IRIS has done. And they're going to be part of the Digital Futures building, which is going to be opening this summer, and I think that's very exciting to me. So especially because, and I don't want to make this about me, because I do want to thank a whole bunch of people, but I'm now leading this digital transformation task force. And a lot of the things that we're talking about are machine learning, are the use of AI, the use of data sets to get to the next level. And, I find, having now taken a course I actually decided to go back to taking courses during my Provost still time just to figure out what digital transformation was about. You know, you get put in a task force and all of a sudden you're like, what do I know about this? So now I know a little bit more, but one of the things is precisely, and I think this is something that maybe some of the experts today who I want to thank for coming here will address, is the problems of biases with data mining. How do you actually, in fact, deal with the ethical questions that come, even if you want to start in a good direction? And that's one of the projects that I was really excited about, was working to find out how we can use data analytics in, both in descriptive but also prescriptive modes. And the prescriptive is when it gets dangerous, right? I mean, when you start telling people, well, you have a weakness here, you should go there, et cetera, et cetera. And so those are big questions. They're fantastic questions to ask. But what I was saying is I come across the whole thing that we are surrounded by sensors. We have sensors. I mean, every time we do something, there's a sensor that is actually taking our data and feeding it somewhere else. And it's getting more and more that way. And so it's going to be really crucial for our ethical positions. So having said that, I do want to thank the Department of Philosophy. I want to thank Iris, and I want to thank the Taft Research Center. I don't see Amy here, but I think the Taft Research Center is a value added of this university because it does help humanities and social sciences to, in fact, do work that sometimes you wouldn't be able to do without their support. So I do want to thank Amy and that group for supporting this. So overall, I mean, the reality is I apologize that I can't stay here because I really would want to do more of this, but this week seems to be I'm going around doing these kind of things a lot. And so I have to exit, but I hope it really is exciting. And I would really like to hear some feedback on some of the big ideas that come out of this, because we are doing a recommendation about digital transformation to the president at some point, and it would be really useful to hear all of the pitfalls that we might incur if we don't do it right, because millions have been spent on digital transformation and gotten nowhere. So I would like to try to avoid that. And I know that pilots are big in this field, but I also think, you know, if I get good information on the front end, I don't have to make mistakes on the back end of that. So again, thank you, Peter, for having me here. It's a pleasure. I really enjoyed this, and I wish you all a great conference. And boy, we're lucky that we are able to do this face-to-face, because I think there is an added value to that. As a humanist, I think there is a big value added to that. All right, thank you.
Hi, I'd like to introduce